Your peptides stack should not look like it comes from a Cheesecake Factory menu. I love peptides. We use peptides. I think peptides can be a very useful tool when they're sourced appropriately, dosed correctly, and monitored by someone who understands hormones, metabolism, labs, side effects, and how actual humans function. But some of these peptide stacks are just getting out of hand. I'm seeing guys and gals coming in already taking 4, 5, 6 different peptides at the same time. Tesamorelin, CJC, ipamorelin, MK-677, BPC-157, TB-500, GHK-copper, PT-141, Melanotan, NAD, a GLP-1, and a research chemical from a website that literally says not for human use. And then they look at us like, which one of these is making me feel weird? Buddy, your mitochondria are trying to file a restraining order. So here's the deal. There can be synergistic effects with peptides. That part's real, but synergy does not mean throw the whole freezer section into your body and hope your abs come in by Friday. It means we need to understand what each compound is doing, what goal we're chasing, what risks come with it, and whether the stack actually makes sense, because more is not always better. Sometimes more is just more side effects, more costs, more confusion, and more chances that nobody knows which thing is causing which problem. You know, one of the things in medicine, we discuss polypharmacy when a patient is on multiple medications. After even just 5 meds or so, the effects compound, and no one truly knows all the effects and interactions these are having. Peptides are not different. We may think we know their exact pathways, but we just can't truly know the full extent of all these mixtures and compounds interacting with each other. One of the biggest issues I see is just overall redundancy. I've had people come in taking tesamorelin, MK-677 or other ibutamoren, and CJC-1295, and then they're also on tirzepatide or retatrutide and wondering why their appetite is still insane. So the MK-677 acts through the ghrelin receptor, and ghrelin is the I will eat the fridge door off at night and anything in my way hormone. So if your main goal is weight loss and appetite control, stacking the hunger signal with a microphone on top of a GLP-1 can be like putting a toddler and a raccoon in charge of your nutrition plan. It's just not ideal. Growth hormone secretagogues can be useful, but we need to know what we're trying to accomplish. Recovery, sleep, body composition, visceral fat, muscle retention, injury support. Cool. But if you're gaining water weight, getting numb hands, feeling swollen, seeing glucose creep up, or your appetite is beating your tirzepatide like it owes it money, the stack needs to be reevaluated. Another one, PT-141 and Melanotan. PT-141 can be used for sexual health in the right patient. Melanotan is used by some for tanning effects, but these are both melanocortin receptor compounds. If you're stacking sexual side effects, blood pressure effects, nausea, flushing, darkening skin lesions, and increased pigmentation, you better have a real reason besides, well, some guy named Peptide Warrior 88 said it was the elite stack. If you're using melanotan, you need to understand the concern with changing moles, darkening lesions, and making melanoma detection more difficult. That doesn't mean everyone's doomed. It just means stop treating your skin like a printer cartridge. Get skin checks, know your risk, pay attention to changing lesions, and don't stack things blindly. Let's talk about GHK-copper. GHK-copper can be interesting for skin, hair, tissue support, but it contains copper. If someone's hammering this long-term and never is thinking about the zinc, the copper balance, your CBC, your inflammatory status, or why they're even using it, that's not optimization. That's just vibes-based biochemistry. And vibes are not a dosing protocol. Same with BPC-157 TB-500. These are great for injury recovery, tendon issues, nagging pain, and tissue repair. But what are we treating? Is there an actual injury? Are we rehabbing it? Are we loading the tissue appropriately? Are we sleeping? Are we getting enough protein? Do we have uncontrolled diabetes? Are we ignoring a torn tendon because a peptide is making it hurt a little bit less? Because pain relief without fixing the problem is how you turn a small issue into a surgical consult. Peptides can support recovery. They cannot replace common sense. Your peptide stack will not outdo a sleep schedule built by a raccoon. 3 hours of nightly scrolling, 6 beers of every night. Protein intake that looks like it belongs in a nervous squirrel. A workout plan you only follow when Mercury is in retrograde, or stress levels high enough to make your Apple Watch send a welfare check. And please, for the love of all things sterile, know how to dose what you're taking. Add some backwater and pull to 10 is not a medical plan. That's how we end up with someone taking 5 times the intended dose because they watched one reconstitution video at 1.5x speed and trusted a syringe like it's a treasure map. We need to know, what is the concentration? How many milligrams are in the vial? How much bacteriostatic water was added? How many milligrams are in each unit? What is a weekly dose? What is the goal? How long are we running this? How are we going to monitor it? When do we stop this? That matters, and sourcing matters. If you're continuing to buy the not for human use compounds from these sketchy websites, I'm assuming you already know there's risk. You're accepting the fact that many of these compounds do not have strong long-term human safety data. You're accepting the fact that the purity, sterility, concentration, contaminants, and consistency have zero regulation and oversight. Do you remember math class? Do you want everyone in there that hasn't done math be the one to make sure that the concentrations are right, sterility is maintained, and contaminants are removed? You know, that doesn't mean you're a bad person, it just means we should be more serious about risk reduction. Use accredited compounding pharmacies when appropriate. Work with a clinician who understands peptides, hormones, metabolism, medications, side effects, and labs. Monitor the things that matter. Depending on the person and the compound, you know, lab monitoring may look like a CBC, a CMP, fasting glucose, fasting insulin, hemoglobin A1C, your lipids, IGF-1, thyroid markers, blood pressure, resting heart rate, symptoms, sleep, appetite, body composition, injection site reactions. And most importantly, does this make you better? Not just, did your number move? Did your whoop say you recovered? Did you feel something? Are we improving the actual goal? More muscle, less visceral fat, better recovery, better libido, better injury, healing, better metabolic health, better quality of life. That's the game. Again, at Live Oak, we're not anti-peptide. We are anti-chaos. We use peptides, we like peptides, but we also like knowing what the heck we're doing. Because responsible peptide use is just not what can I stack, it's what do I actually need? What's worth the risk? What is redundant? What should we monitor? What should we avoid? When should we stop? And what lifestyle problem am I trying to outsource in a vial? Peptides are tools, they're not magic beans. They're not a replacement for training, sleep, protein, sunlight, metabolic health, or a functioning adult bedtime. So before you turn your nightstand into a hormone goblin laboratory, come talk with someone who can help you build a plan that makes sense. Use the right compound for the right person, at the right dose, for the right reason, with the right monitoring. And please stop stacking peptides like you're trying to unlock a secret character in Mortal Kombat. Your pancreas, pituitary, wallet, and refrigerator door will thank you. If you have any questions over peptides, feel free to reach out. We have several other videos over peptides. Again, we like them, we use them, we just want them to be responsible. I've again had these guys come with peptides that were redundant. You don't need 3 growth hormone secretagogues. You don't need 2 GLP-1s, you know, so just be responsible, work with somebody, and we're happy to be that resource for you. So feel free to reach out, text or call if you need anything from us.